What's going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 45. I am your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
The spell is broken, and we live again!
Chris Seeley.
I think for this I should have drank a Colt 45, but I'll just have this instead.
There
Some
you
Red
go.
Bull.
Red Bull, so that's Mr. Brett Murdoch's favorite drink. Oh, we can't hear you, Brett.
Oh, I'm still on mute. Sorry. What's up, people?
Yay! All right, people. We're
Right
here
there
for
with you,
another-
man.
There you go, Red Bull. Hey, Red Bull, what's up, man? Sponsor us, please.
Yeah, I'd be great with that.
Oh man, even though I don't like your products, but I said I fucked it up. Oh well.
Yeah, way to go, Tony.
Two out of 4 Throwdown people support.
I enjoyed the Red Bull cola that they had for a little bit. But then I think, yeah, well, one thing about it is it had something that wasn't really so good for you. It was like some sort of crazy thing that it had in it.
Man,
It totally
alien
stopped
juice,
it.
man. Alien juice. That's how they get you. I saw that in the movie. Actually, that was in Devil May Cry. They put demon juice in fucking drinks. That's how they get you.
That's right, yeah, that's right. With fucking marketing and energy drinks, that's how demons get you.
Yeah, that's how Red Bull gets you.
Whoops, I guess we're not getting that Red Bull money.
It actually doesn't give you wings. It gives you devil horns.
Yes. Oh, it gives you wings, just leathery wings, you know. All right, couple of things before we start. A wild leveled up gamer appears. This guy used to give you guys shit when you were the host, Manny.
Yeah.
Every week, he's back, baby. So yeah, he was in there tossing it up with some people and stuff. So I'm ready for you, man. You wasn't talking that shit when I was on the show. So
He's like, and now I'm back, and I'm gonna really shake it down.
yeah, he's mad at the PlayStation peoples. So.
Oh, is he? Oh, okay.
Sweet about the comment section. Torrance was up there tossing problems.
You know, the one thing about Torrance is that he needs to stop stirring the hornet's nest.
But that's part of the fun too, you know. You know, like I like the fact that he goes in there and rattles things up, and everybody goes crazy. All the Torrance's like anger was a little misplaced because he was like, "You fans ask the stupidest questions every week." And, you know, they were like, dude, these are just truncated versions of the question. And Torrance like, hey, you need to have the entire question up there. I'm like, no, you need to listen to the show. How about that?
Yeah, number one, most people don't read anyway. So we put them in there just, you know, as a service to everybody. But, you know, we can't fit every single question onto one of those things, especially
In length. Yeah,
Yeah, you know, especially the length. A lot of them tend to be very long. So, I mean, we kind of, you know, Tony just kind of truncates it to its, you know, its barest essence.
Yep, basically. You know, if you want to know what we're really talking about, you listen to the show.
Yeah.
As simple as that. But I like Torrance mixing it up in there. I guess he's a fan of Throwdown Your Questions. I never see him on Throwdown. He's always on Throwdown Your Questions.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting to me. And the last thing, a bit of a sad note, Mr. Roddy Piper has passed away at the age of 61. Sucks. We always mentioned They Live on this show. You know, he was like the big star of that. So I guess now, in a weird way, everybody's going to know that movie, you know?
You know, it was also the anniversary of it, too. I forgot what anniversary it was.
Probably 30th at this point.
Yeah,
you know?
I just recently rebought the film on Blu-ray from Shout Factory, or Scream Factory, I think. And it's a really good transfer. Like they did a really good job. They did all new interviews with a lot of the cast and crew. They also put down they took the old commentary from one of the versions of it and put it on there too. And just hearing like Roddy Piper and John Carpenter get into it, like one of the things I thought was really interesting. The one reason why John Carpenter and Piper were really good friends. John Carpenter was a huge professional wrestling fan, and that's one of the reasons why he got how he got Roddy Piper into the film, which is kind of interesting. And the WWF actually didn't want him to do the film. At the time, they said, "Oh, you know, you can do your own film or whatever," and stuff like that, instead of just, you know, kind of supporting him. But after the movie, he ended up becoming even bigger than he was before he was in the film, because he kind of showed that, you know, professional wrestlers could kind of get into film and media and not just be, just play like professional wrestlers or muscleheads.
Yeah, he was like the first one to do that, wasn't he?
Yeah. I mean, he had been in other films, but it was just bit parts. He was in DC Cab with Mr. T, and a couple of other lousy films. He's in a really bad Sonny Shiba movie.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, this is really bad. Like they brought Sonny Shiba over to do some movie, and it was just a horrible, just horrible. He didn't speak English, and it was just bad.
Yeah, and the thing you and I were talking about, because he was 61, but he's young, but at the same time, he was a wrestler, and
yeah, a lot of what kind of. It's sad to say, but most of the wrestlers from our childhood were juicing up to high hell. Even the guys that didn't even look that big, and a lot of them, you see it. They all die of heart failure. Ultimate Warrior died of heart failure. Macho Man Randy Savage died of heart failure. These guys are not that old, and they're dying of heart failure. So
yeah.
It's just the lives that they lived, and all the whatevers they used to kind of keep themselves going is just took its toll. So, and it's really sad, especially it's like we're losing all of our heroes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but can't be helped, I guess. But it sucks. But yeah, there you go. Just wanted to say that real quick because that happened after Throwdown, so we didn't have a chance to speak on it. All right, so let's jump right into questions. As usual, Final Stage Boss kicks us off here. Pretty simple one to start off with. If you have a PS4 camera, do you use the voice commands? I don't have a PS4 camera, and if I did, I wouldn't use the voice commands because that's silly.
Yeah, I wouldn't use it.
Does anybody here even own one of those fucking things?
Nope.
I can see why some people are getting it because they want to use it for their Twitch streams, but other than that,
No, but that makes sense because you're talking over your stream, right? But
yeah.
I don't I have Kinect. I don't fucking like using that thing either. I have a controller in my hand. I just use the fucking menus.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why would you do that? It makes no sense to me. I know people are like, oh, I love using voice commands, but it's like, really, dude? Just your controller's right there, I don't know. So we can't go into that because none of us own this shit,
Yeah, I've never actually. You can test it out if you want to. If you have the headset, you can turn on the voice features using that instead of using the camera. But again, at the same time, why would you do that?
Exactly.
But who knows? Maybe there's somebody out there who's like, PlayStation, activate.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean,
all right.
I always like the idea of being able to talk to my, home console like it were a sci-fi spaceship computer, but I don't think we're quite there yet.
From a certain Star Trekking series.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But we're not there yet. All right. Next question. Games get released broken and people get mad. Games get delayed, people get mad. You can't have it both ways. If a game needs more time in the oven, why do most gamers complain about delays? Because people like to bitch. Simple as that. They want the game now, and they don't want to fucking wait, even though it's better to wait. So it's like, hey, I'm hungry right now. Give me my meal. It's not finished cooking yet. Fuck it. I want it now. It's like,
well, no. It's like going out to a table of people, and they're saying the meal's not done being cooked, and half the people say, fuck it, I want it now, and the other people say, I want it done correctly. Like, you can't lump all of gamers because...
Oh, no, not all of them, but the people complaining specifically, Well,
there are different groups complaining. Some people are complaining, God damn it, it's delayed, and then other people to that say, well, good, I hope for a finished game. And then some people like, I personally bitch when a game is broken. I don't bitch when it's delayed. But there are people that bitch when it's delayed. And so if you just kind of listen to gamers as a whole, you get the impression that they're back and forth, back and forth. And while I'm already talking, you can have it both ways with correct handling of early access. Now, there's only a handful of people that have done that, but that is a great way to let the people who want to jump into the game actually jump into the game and know that it's going to be broken. In any early access game I've played, if you go on any kind of forum and start complaining, most of the time you'll get responded with, yeah, it's early access. The devs are working on it. Like I said, not many people do it right, but the ones that do, it provides not only access to the people who want the game now, it provides a huge pool of bug testers And not just that, there's something that happens after you release a game. Like you can release it with the greatest intentions, and then when it gets into players' hands, they will do things with it that will surprise you. I've seen it, time and time again. And a lot of these early access games are starting to take advantage of that because they're seeing, players creating systems. Like for instance, the EverQuest Landmark game, which is a voxel building game. They made, you could make different sizes of squares. And they found that their player base would take these squares and place them and then cut down all but like a little tiny square. And then they'd save that as a template and use those little tiny squares to build things that were more intricate and elaborate than the game had ever actually figured it was able to. And somehow the way that they jerry-rigged it together did so in a way that didn't utilize a shitload of resources. So eventually they went back and changed the game mechanics. And now apparently I think it's called microvoxeling is a thing. Like it's a thing in the game. It's not a workaround breaking the game mechanics. It's actually part of the game. And I think that happens a lot of times. So I think early access gets the game to the people who want to play right now, and they'll deal with some bugs or whatever. I happen to be one of those people. Like I don't want to wait for a year for Ark to come out. I want to play it now. I'll deal with, a small bug here and there, and it gives us an opportunity to fix a game from being incredibly broken when it comes out. So essentially, we can have it both ways, and everybody wins. But
that's only for those type of games. The question is really more for the AAA games that get delayed or that are buggy as shit.
Well, that's the thing. Like, why couldn't you early access Fallout? Why couldn't you early access?
Because it's a big game. They're not going to do that.
Dude, they did a beta for Gears of War.
Yeah, but that's like an exception. That rarely happens,
But it could. I'm not saying that it does, but it could. And early access isn't really a thing on consoles, which is why it still kind of seems niche to you. And I wish Brian were here because he'd back me up. It's a very common thing on PC at this point. And
for PC, but again, the question was really more for console games, and going back to the other thing. Yeah, with me, it's like the whole early access thing doesn't even sound appealing. It's like, hey, try out this steak that's half done. It's like, no, finish it first. See, I'm that guy. I'll wait for the shit to be done. I'm not going to complain about delay. I'm with you on that end. But it's like I don't care about playing a game before it's done. It's like, why would I do that? Hey, read this book that's halfway done. It's like, why? Like, no.
It's like
go ahead.
There's something to be said for watching a TV show as it comes out because you're excited for that night that it comes out. Like when I'm watching Game of Thrones, like every
but
fucking
it's different.
Sunday,
That's like watching an episode with no effects in it. Understand?
It's not. Well, and no, it's not. It's and that's why I say when they do it right, because there is a core game there, and the core game is fun and it's complete and it's working. I'm using Ark as an example here because it's one of the better ones. The game is complete, and then every 4 fucking days, I get a new feature. It is like having the greatest season pass ever. And Minecraft kind of did the same thing. At the beginning, like it was a fairly simple game, but it was a complete and feature-rich game. And then they keep adding features, and they keep adding features. And then the community is like, you know what? This gathering mechanic is all fucked up, and we don't like it. So they're like, all right, we're gonna change it. It's an amazing feeling to have the developers working for you as a customer base. And yeah, I deal with a couple glitches, but generally speaking, it's nothing horribly game-breaking. And I come from, I've played a lot of Bethesda games in my life, so I have a pretty thick skin for, rubber banding or, a little bit of a lag spike here, or, the dinosaur accidentally got pissed off by a scorpion outside the base, and so it ran into the wall and dodged through the wall somehow into the spikes outside and killed itself. That's one of those things where you're like, well, that's the kind of thing that happens. I'll tame another dinosaur. It's not a big fucking deal because you kind of know that you're going into that. And it's not for everybody, but it should be a complete game. And I can't help but feel like if Watch Dogs had some kind of early access program, like the cars would not have felt as janky. Like they would have opened it up to the public, and the public would have immediately been like, "What the fuck is this?" And it would have gotten fixed before release. So the people like Tony who wait to play the game, you would have gotten a better game.
Yeah, I think that game would need another 3 years. So it's like, hey, why is this game boring and the characters uninteresting? You can't fix that in early access.
I was gonna add this. The book The Martian, that's being made into a film. It actually started off as somewhat of an not early access, but it was written in sections, and a lot of times, the writer would, go to the people fans of the book would write him and be like, the science in this is not so right. Maybe you want to try doing this or redoing your math or whatever. So definitely something can be said for kind of developing something in tandem with the idea, or keeping in mind the ideas and of the audience that you're aiming for, or of the game, or book. So it'd be an interesting test. I'd like to see somebody in the AAA market try something like that.
Yeah, I don't see it happening because of money and shit, but yeah.
Well, I'm not saying it's the second coming of Jesus, and I'm not saying it's going to happen. What I am saying is, in reference to the original question, like, what would you have to do? Like, early access is the only thing that you can do to make everybody happy. You have to have tiered access. If people want to get in before the game is done, then get in. And even then, that's not going to satisfy everybody. There are early access games that have been in purgatory for fucking ever. And I'm angry at those developers. I don't need to name names anymore. I'm just angry.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
So that's not going to solve everything, but otherwise, without the answer of early access might help solve this, it's just people going to bitch, and for the most part, it's different people bitching at different times, and you can't please 100% of the people 100% of the time. But if we're talking actual solutions, then yeah, like we really should have a talk. Everybody should have a talk about early access, about open platform, about kickstarting, and getting some fucking fresh blood into consoles, because I'm sick of not getting enough good games.
Yeah, but that is as far as solution goes, that probably is the best solution. But I don't see AAA games doing that shit. Go ahead, Chris.
Everyone except Capcom. I don't think they can do any sort of. They can even do a beta, right? A public beta. So
yeah, exactly. In real early access, it ain't happening.
Isn't PlayStation? Haven't they already talked about making an early access section in the PSN?
I don't remember that. If that happened, listeners, viewers, if that happened, let us know.
Yeah, I think Brett's right on that. I think they were supposed to have something like that, but I don't know. They haven't mentioned it in a long time.
No.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Man, he's about to pass the fuck out.
I had a long day. I'm still listening. Don't worry, guys. I'm still with you.
All right. Oh man, he working you too hard, man.
No, man, it was just a long day, and
yeah.
I'm probably gonna turn into a pumpkin after this show is over.
All right, let's move on to the last question from Final Stage Boss. When a new console generation starts, a lot of gamers switch consoles, so remasters are good for them because they didn't get to play those games. Why can't people understand this instead of hating remasters? Very good question. It's a good point. And, the last time I checked, I think it was like 2/3 of people that own PS4s never owned a PlayStation system. So for them, Last of Us, that's a new game. Uncharted Collection, that's new shit. So there's nothing wrong with that at all. I've said this a bunch of times. Like, let them have the remasters. Nothing wrong with it.
The thing is that I think at the same time, it's seen as kind of like an easy way out. It's like, oh, well, we don't have any of those really awesome games that you really want to play, so here, we just, we're running this old game from a few years ago in a higher frame rate. There you go.
Yeah. Really, I'll go back to, I'll put the blame on Capcom again, because they kind of cheapened that whole experience. Like, they're doing these remasters, but they're kind of blatantly saying, like, oh, you guys want remasters? Oh, just here, everything, Resident Evil 4, it's the 8th version of the game. We don't care. Here it is.
Let's go. Let's do it. Yeah, exactly. Now we're getting Resident Evil, maybe Resident Evil 2 now, which is interesting. They would have to. That's a whole other topic. I'm not gonna.
That Resident Evil 2 was not made by Capcom.
No, but that game was on PS1. You're gonna have to redo that from scratch. You can't just up-res that.
Yeah, it's gonna look horrible.
Yeah, it's not shit.
Yeah, it's not gonna look great. That's the thing. Like, we have, you really want to see HD remasters that really kind of, push, at least try to improve something. But I notice quite a bit of people are complaining about the God of War
3.
The God of War 3 one. where it's like it looks good for what it is, but they didn't bother to up any of the textures or anything like that.
Yeah, and the photo mode is stupid too because the game doesn't let you rotate the camera. So
well, there's the other part of that. If you pull your camera pretty far out, you also break the illusion of the actual game because whenever they design those kind of locked camera angle games, there's a whole section of stuff that's not even built. So when you start moving the camera around, you're like, oh well, it's almost like moving the camera on a movie set. You move it into one location, it's like, oh well, you see all the walls are all fake.
Yeah, I see all the cardboard.
It ruins the illusion.
Oh man. But yeah, we kind of talked about this, right? Like I said, let people have the remasters, but at the same time, some companies like Capcom are getting too reliant on them now instead of doing new shit.
And then Konami's Silent Hill was a pretty horrible HD remaster, and I wish that they would. I wish that a lot of the studios would put about as much love as they did into the Metal Gear one, which was probably one of the better HD remasters that they did.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even though people didn't like Twin Snakes, you got to give it respect for completely remaking that game. That's not a remaster. That's a remake.
That's a total remake. I mean, the biggest. I always had the biggest problem with Twin Snakes. It wasn't balanced correctly. There's a lot of silly things that they didn't really think of that kind of made the game a little bit annoying.
Yeah, but I mean, again, Brett, what do you think about all this, the remaster stuff? People can piss off at them.
Honestly, I don't mind remasters. I just care about pretty much exclusively remasters. And when a lot of people were complaining about this, I felt like there was a lack of actual new, innovative games. And when you release a new system with the promise of, oh, we're going to do some new stuff, we're going to bump this up, and you instead just give, remasters of games that a lot of people already own. Granted, a lot of people don't, but you leave a lot of people in the position where it's like, okay, great, every game I've bought for the last 2 years is out again in a higher frame rate and resolution. Where the fuck are my fancy new PS4 games? So I don't know that it's the problem with just having remasters or having remasters in general. It's the problem is when they oversaturate the market with remasters instead of new and innovative content. People start to get a little bit upset about the money they invested because fuck, I could have just kept my PS3 and played all these games. What the hell did I spend $400 on?
But on the flip side, though, if you just bought a PS4 for the first time, or had a PS3, you have a lot of good games. But yeah, I don't know. I know what you're saying. It's like, come on, guys. Remasters are fine, but where's the new shit? We still don't have many.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is. It's like they're semi using it as a buffer to maybe to maybe kind of be like, okay, you didn't play the God of War games. Oh well, here, have this.
The God of War 3 was cheap, by the way. Why not have the entire fucking collection, just one game for $40? Really?
Yeah.
Come on, it's bullshit.
It's probably the easiest port to do. Who knows?
That's the other thing. A lot of these remasters are just cheap remakes. This is why I'm like, why is Capcom going to do Resident Evil 2? They actually have to put work into that. And Capcom remasters they never put work into them. Let's just be honest.
Well, yeah. I mean, what are they going to do? I mean, unless they have all those original 3D files and their, background files, and they're able to re-render everything over again. What are they going to do? It'll be interesting to see. Maybe they're doing something about as big on the level of
Final Fantasy
VII. Yeah,
Which we have a question about later on. All right. Anything else to say about remasters before we move on?
No.
All right. Moving on.
Let's remaster our answers.
Yeah, right. some of these answers are remasters. All right. Phantom Vash. What are your predictions for Gamescom? To be honest, I haven't really given it too much thought. I do predict Microsoft is going to show a lot of shit. Actually, I know they're going to show a lot of shit. They said so. A lot of the games that were missing from E3, I'm not forgetting the name of the game, the Alan Wake type game, a Quantum Break, that's going to be there. A bunch of shit.
Yo, man, where's Crackdown, yo?
Yeah, Crackdown's probably going to be there. I think that this one's going to be heavily about Microsoft since they're the only ones with a stage presence. Sony's not going to have one. Nintendo is not going to have one. They never have one at E3 either. So yeah, I predict it to be a Microsoft heavy show.
Yeah, I think so too.
Interesting.
I think they'll probably announce the season 3 of Killer Instinct and the next wave of characters for that. Like Mason
Xbox. Oh yeah.
Oh, by the way, going back, Mr. Fan of Vash, he said, "Yup, both Sony and Microsoft said last year they may implement early access programs." So there you go. However, so far only Microsoft has announced one. Maybe Sony will announce their early access for the PS4 in the future. Hey, maybe they'll do it at Gamescom. Who knows? I mean, Sony's still going to be at Gamescom. They just won't have a press conference.
They're probably going to do some announcements, but they're just not doing the big press conference thing this time around.
I want to know what Konami's going to be doing. Because they always used to have shit every year.
They'll pull out, so it'll be Metal Gear and then some slot machines.
Yeah.
It's so weird to see that there is really no games in their pipeline at this point in time, other than maybe a new PES, the Pro Evolution Soccer,
Yeah.
That's it. And then Metal Gear.
Because, at Gamescom, Konami always uses to show a bunch of stuff. Not this year. It looks like that. Oh, man. All right. Next question. What are your thoughts on the rumored fan... yes, love this question. What are your thoughts on the rumored fan theory that Jared Leto's version of the Joker for the upcoming DC Cinematic Universe films may actually be Jason Todd? I like this theory. And it would actually...
be interesting.
It would explain why Joker's so much younger than fucking Batman, Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would be cool just to shake things up a little bit, That's why I would like that theory a lot.
So what's the whole Jason Todd story that they're talking that he would be doing?
Okay, you know who Jason Todd is, obviously, right?
This will be a spoiler if you don't know, guys, by the way.
Yeah, okay, for those who don't know, Jason Todd was the second Robin who the Joker killed, but since it's a comic book, he came back to life, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I don't know if this was canon per se, but maybe it happened in an Elseworld story, but Jason Todd, since he was fucked up by Joker and Joker put all these thoughts in his head, he just became the new Joker in the future. So people try to say that, and then the clues are like, look at all the tattoos he has. Like Jason would have tattoos, Joker wouldn't. The age, and then the suit that you saw in the trailer, that was all the face. Like, why would Batman keep a defaced fucking Robin suit in a Batcave? Maybe Robin got in there and did some shit to it. I like the theory. I doubt they're gonna go with it because they want to just keep it to traditional Joker. But I like the theory. It's cool. It'd be very interesting.
Didn't he become the Red Hood though?
Yeah, he did. And which is interesting because the Joker was the original Red Hood.
Yes.
But yeah, he did become the Red Hood in I think he's Red Robin now or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, New 52 kind of.
What the fuck is Red Robin?
The Red Robin?
Oh wait, or maybe Tim Drake is.
Oh no, Tim Drake is right. What the fuck is Jason Todd then?
I have no
Red
idea.
Hood?
He's just the Red Hood now, right?
I guess he's just Red Hood, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so there you go. It'd be interesting.
I mean, Red Hood's a pretty cool character, actually. He reminds me of the original Deadpool.
So yeah.
Before Deadpool got all wacky.
The original Deadpool with the one with the little feet, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, yes, I hope the theory's true. It'd be very cool. Like in the third movie that he's in, it's like, oh shit, it's actually Jason Todd. It'd be very interesting. All right, last question from Fan of Ash. Do you believe HBO will be able to secure an 8th season for Game of Thrones to finish the series, or will they be stuck with trying to wrap up the show on the 7th season, since that is how long the actors are on contract? I have a very detailed answer for you. Concrete answer. They are doing an 8th season. They said so this past week. They had like a little. It wasn't like a event, but they were having a talk with their investors, and they were asked, hey, are you gonna have a season 8? Yes, they will have a season 8. But the problem is they need to sign all those fucking actors back because they are all signed up for season 7. Mm-hmm. So at this point, I'm pretty sure HBO is going to be like, here, have as much money as you want, come back, But yes, the show will end on season 8. That's guaranteed now. They said so this week. So there you go. And I'm pretty, like I said, HBO is probably going to just fork over that money, get everybody back, And again, it'll be interesting. We're going to see the ending of this story before the fucking books. Come on. George Martin ain't finishing these 2 fucking books. No way is he finishing them in time. No fucking way. So, yeah. There you go. There's your answer. It's not even like because when he asked us, it was a matter of speculation. Not anymore. We have a concrete answer. It's coming. All right. Next, Killax. I had wanted to support the Shenmue Kickstarter, but I'm not. I'm not promised to be in this world in the next 2 or 3 years. Is it a good excuse not to support a game I love until it is released, or should I support the company just because I loved them in the past? Great fucking question.
You know, I understand. I understand where you're coming from. I mean, to be honest, I didn't support Republic when it was first announced. Even though I support Brian Payton and the guys that are over there at Camouflage, but at the same time, I kind of missed out on the Kickstarter. I don't think there's anything wrong with not supporting the Kickstarter, especially if the game comes out. You're still going to get it, right? So it's okay. You know.
Yeah, that's my answer too. It's like it's okay. You don't have to give them money right away.
You don't need to.
You don't need to. You can wait.
Do you just have an extra $50-$60 laying around? Because if you do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you have the money, you know, and you're willing to do it, why not? Basically, there's nothing wrong with either approach. I guess that's the real answer. It's like if you want to wait, that's fine. If you want to kickstart, that's fine too. There's no problem with that. You know, I mean, the only thing is you are running a risk with a Kickstarter that you may not get that game.
Yeah, that one, your decision made the game not happen.
Yeah,
dun, dun.
I know it's coming, but look what got delayed. Mighty Number 9. So.
Yeah. I also want to see Shenmue come back, but I didn't Kickstarter either. I at that point when I was like, you know, wondering if I should give money to this, they blew past their goal, right? They were already set, so I'm like, you know what? I'll support the game when it comes out. I'll wait, but I don't need to contribute right now. Like they're set. There's other games I wanted to see happen. Mighty Number 9 being one of them. Ukulele. I supported that. Bloodstain, supported that, because I was like, okay, these guys are saying, you know, here's your interest, let's see the interest, and you support it, right? But damn, Shenmue was one of those rare cases. They were funded in like 10 hours.
Exactly.
More than double their goal.
Literally, we went to sleep and then woke up. It was funded.
Yeah. Basically, so yeah. In that case, you know, you didn't need to Kickstarter, and you're right. You're gonna get the game either way, so it's not like you missed out. You know, it's not like if you don't Kickstarter, you'll never get the game. It doesn't work like that. So if you want to wait, that's not a problem at all. All right. Next up, Riku-san 1, the only one, who we had on Otanime, which people should check out. We talked about Sengoku Basara. Very cool episode. All right, so his question is very detailed, and this is a reason why we have truncated versions, because this is 3 paragraphs worth of stuff. All right, so let's get into it. I'll read this nice and slow. What are your thoughts? Oh, by the way, we did kind of cover this, so consider this a remaster of a question.
Right? See?
Okay. What are your thoughts on the fact that the Final Fantasy VII Remake isn't going to be an exact remake of the game everybody knows and loves, to the point where it's not even turn-based anymore? I know Tetsuya Nomura doesn't want this remake to be turn-based, and the reason everyone is excited back when they announced its existence at E3 was the fact that they love Final Fantasy VII, or maybe they just love the characters in the world more than the turn-based gameplay. They just want to see more of Cloud and company. The point is, people are going to be disappointed when they figure out it's not exactly turn-based, especially turn-based fanatics. Are you one of the people that feels some type of way on the fact that it won't be turn-based? Do you think the people that are going to be mad that it's not going to be a turn-based game have a reason to be mad? If it was up to you, would you want it to be turn-based, or are you willing to change the genre like Nomura is? This is why the Final Fantasy HD exists, my friend. You want your turn-based game, you buy that shit. You want the brand new remake, you buy the remake, essentially. So everybody wins. You want turn-based games, you want the original Final Fantasy VII. As you remember, just with crisper graphics, you go for the HD version. You want a brand new Ultimate version, you go for the remake. Everybody wins, so it's not. You can't even get mad, because if you want a remake, it exists. You know.
I also want to clarify something. Basically, when he says, "What are your thoughts on the fact that Final Fantasy Remake isn't going to be an exact remake of the game everyone knows and loves, to the point where it's not even turn-based anymore?" The fact that it's not turn-based anymore is pretty much the only thing that's going to be different. They stated very clearly that they are sticking to the original story, and pretty much everything else will be the same. So that's really the only difference. And I love myself some old school turn-based games, but I also love some side scrollers, and that doesn't mean that I need them releasing a whole bunch of new fucking side scrollers or remastering, a side scroller game. It's like how I said Bloodborne was pretty much the perfect 3D port of a Castlevania game. There's ways to capture the original essence while still innovating, I guess. So yeah, I'm not upset because turn-based was a response to having limited power on a system.
I need to jump on that, by the way.
Go ahead.
I completely disagree with you. Games are turn-based because what were RPGs based on originally? Dungeons and Dragons. What is Dungeons and Dragons? A turn-based game. Remember, when you had turn-based RPGs, you also had action, real-time games. So it wasn't a limitation. It's just, hey, RPGs are turn-based because Dungeons and Dragons are turn-based. I want people to get rid of that notion. It wasn't because of limitations.
Yeah, it was.
No, it wasn't. It's because they were turn-based.
So in an interview, dude, I read an interview from Square that basically said the reason that they did turn-based games is they tried to push.
I'm calling horse shit on that. I'm calling horse shit on that, man.
The whole Final Fantasy genre was built around trying to tell a good story, and the whole turn-based system and visual. Cinematic approach that they took was because they were trying to push the envelope in terms of visuals.
Yeah, that's true. They were trying, but the thing is, every RPG that started was turn-based because Dungeons and Dragons was turn-based. Now, granted, you had other games like Ultima. I don't believe that was turn-based. I don't think Dungeons and Dragons really influenced Japanese culture that much that long ago. Actually, this is how it went. Japanese RPGs were inspired by Western RPGs like Ultima, and those were directly inspired by Dungeons and Dragons. Remember, it all goes back to Dungeons and Dragons in the end when it comes to RPG genre. It all goes. That's the root of it, and that at its core is a turn-based genre. Understand? So the whole limitation, that's a whole bunch of bunk. I'm sorry. Anyway, so for this one, this one I want to say, turn-based, even though it's the core of it. It's not going to fly now in 2015, 2016. People don't want that anymore. They want fast-paced games. So it's necessary that the remake of Final Fantasy VII is a action game,
Well, they've moved Final Fantasy into that real-time fighting where all your hits and actions are determined on the fly, So people are now used to that. So to bring them back to that clunky select everything or whatever, it's a little difficult. It's more of an acquired taste now than anything, where it used to be the standard, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like we could play Bravely Default because we remember that stuff and we enjoy it, right? But other guys are not going to play that, but they like something like Riku's playing Tales of Hearts R, and that's real time, right? You're just swinging around, and they're going to enjoy that more. So they have to cater to, okay, this is a modern audience. We know people are going to buy this because they love Final Fantasy VII. That's a no-brainer. But if you really want to stick to that old feel, like you said, that HD one is coming, right? So and no one can take that old game away from you.
Exactly.
It's always fucking there, right? That's what I tell some of the Star Trek people when they look at Abrams movie. Oh, I'm so mad they wrote Star Trek. I'm like, dude, no one took the show away from you. It's always there.
Yeah, exactly.
They're HDing it up for you. I enjoy it. It's like it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, because I remember when the remake was announced, I was like, wait, what the hell is the point of the HD version? Then when they said the game is not going to be turn-based, I'm like, oh, that's the reason they're making that HD version. Because they knew some guys would be like, hey, why isn't this game turn-based? What the fuck? They changed this, and that. They could be like, hey, we have this game here. We didn't change shit. We just made it look crisper. Buy that. So that's their out. But yeah, this day and age, as sad as it makes me, to say this, people don't like turn-based games anymore. They do not like it. And you're right, Chris. We have a whole generation that grew up with Final Fantasy games that were action games. They're not going to do it at all. Especially the MMO guys, like the Final Fantasy 11 and 14. They're like, what? I'm not going back to turn-based. Fuck that.
Right. They have to make this old game appeal to a whole new generation of people who play RPGs and MMOs, right? But while still keeping us interested in it, right? Like, oh, you love the story, you love the characters. They got to keep all that intact while putting all the new stuff in there.
Yeah, exactly. Good. If they do some shit to Barrett or something like that, or Cloud, then we'll be like, okay, you just fucked this character over. That's the shit we would get mad at. But the turn-based stuff, I don't mind. It's a necessary evolution now. People are not going to accept it, which is sad, but that's how it is. Rico, I hope that was detailed for you, but that's pretty much that. And then we're going to finish it off with some leftover questions from Mr. Brian, who is still missing. He's still missing.
He will return. It's too bad we didn't have a graphic for the last time he was on. It'll be like, Brian will return.
Yeah, right. Brian has some very off-kilter questions, which I like. He goes, remember, these questions were from last week, so this one is a little bit dated, but I want to talk about it nonetheless. I recently found out that Hulk Hogan said about his daughter's... I recently found out what Hulk Hogan said about his daughter's dating habits. With that and the various allegations surrounding Bill Cosby, what childhood star would you expect to be a shit person in real life?
Okay, real quick. What did Hulk Hogan say about his daughter's dating habits? I didn't catch this.
You didn't know. Okay.
Okay, so just for those who don't know, Hulk Hogan was caught. I guess they videotaped him saying this, right? Where his daughter is going out with a black guy, and he called him, the N-word with a hard ER at the end, right? And it led to WWE firing him. It's like he doesn't even exist anymore. We go to WWE.
They wiped him from the Hall of Fame, the site, the store, all his merchandise.
All his merchandise is gone. And
actually, I'm sorry, I need to go back. You know how they find this out? Because he was actually having sex with his friend's wife, and he tells her this after he finishes fucking her.
God.
He's another wrestler, yeah.
Hulk Hogan Hulk Hogan hasn't learned his lesson yet.
Yeah, wow. I remember I actually went on Twitter and I just flat out asked, like, hey, for the black people, like, when you hear shit like this, what does it make you think? And a lot of them like, man, I'm just disappointed, because a lot of people looked up to Hulk Hogan no matter what race you were, but yeah, there you go, and I said, I'm like, he's an old guy. What do you expect? I originally said he's an old white person. No, all old people are fucking racist. No matter what race you are, because Hispanics are racist as shit too. All old people are racist as fuck. So you shouldn't be surprised.
That's also kind of the society they kind of came from. It was like commonplace. They never thought of it.
Yeah, exactly. It was just normal, But yeah, so what people do? And then the Bill Cosby, Brett, do you know what's going on with Bill Cosby?
Is it the same thing that's been going on with Bill Cosby?
Yeah, the whole roofie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, what celebrities do you think would be shit in real life, as Brian says?
I guess the ones you don't suspect, the ones that are just so iconic, and you really look up to.
No, I bet you Bruce Willis is a huge dick.
Imagine if somebody like Robert Downey Jr., who seems like a really cool person, is actually an asshole or something,
I think in the beginning of his career he kind of was a bit of a
he was for sure.
But I think the whole drug thing and all that stuff kind of, made him look at himself a little bit. Maybe made him realize he wanted something a little bit better than just kind of going in and out of rehab and out of jail and shit.
He had a moment of clarity.
Yeah, I don't think that necessarily makes him bad. It's like, he had a drug habit. A lot of guys had second chances from drug habits and made, huge careers. Look at Tom Hardy.
Yeah, exactly.
He was a heroin addict or whatever. Boom, he blew up. He cleaned himself up. He's good. We're talking about guys who you're like, oh, yeah, I really looked up to him. And then it's like, God, you're an asshole. You're raping women, or you're fucking racist. Jeez.
Yeah, could you imagine if Morgan Freeman, and it turns out he pays people to slap their children or something? I want to slap your child. Here's $100. Some crazy.
I want to slap your children.
I don't know. I can't think of any.
They call me Batman.
Imagine if Bruce Campbell's actually an asshole in real life. That'd be sad. I'd be disappointed by that.
I mean, he kind of does play the lovable asshole already, though, when he goes to the...
What if he's a full-on asshole,
Yeah, who knows? I don't know who could, there's some people that you might think are assholes, and they might wind up being really nice people. Like
Oprah Winfrey actually has a bunch of white slave children somewhere. He's like, it's your turn, I don't know.
Or you take, what's his face... The guy who played Governor Tolkien, Peter Cushing. Peter Cushing. Yeah. You would think that guy, with all the horrible villains that he has played, he might be an asshole. But actually, I've heard that he was a very nice man.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like who looks like a
you
really
need someone
nice person.
iconic though. Like all these guys, like Hulk Hogan is so iconic, right? He's probably the most iconic WWF.
Stan Lee, imagine that
Oh my
shit.
god, jeez.
I couldn't see Stan Lee dropping the N-word.
No, me either. But imagine that shit, or he's like raping children or something, you know? Oh man, and the whole Michael Jackson thing, obviously, you know. It's like, but then again, he was already weird to begin with. Was anybody actually really surprised? I'll stop. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard. I can't. Like I said, the reason it's hard for me because I don't look up to any of these people. They're just people. So whenever you find out their shit, I'm like, okay, people are people. You know, that's what they're gonna do. I always kind of suspect they're all assholes anyway until they prove me otherwise.
I mean, I think in general, it's just you want to believe that they are like the characters that they portray in film and TV and stuff like that, but some of them aren't. Some of them get annoyed. Some of them don't like it.
Imagine if Greg Miller's actually an asshole.
I don't know. If that is all a put on, he's a damn good actor.
That's like the best put on.
Academy Award.
Yeah, right. That's like the best put on ever. If he's an asshole, but but then see what Hulk Hogan
I've heard that like somebody like Adam Sessler. Adam Sessler is actually not such a nice person.
Yeah, are you surprised?
I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I would have liked to believe that he, if it's true, I would like to believe that he might have been a nice person or a good person, his
tweets tell you already what he is.
Yeah, it's kind of, I mean, it's interesting to see how. I mean, was he always like that, or did just kind of industry twist him into this kind of, anger factory?
I don't know. What if you find out Peter? Yeah. What if you find out Peter Jackson was an asshole? He seems like a pretty nice guy.
He seems pretty nice. I mean, here's the thing. People wouldn't say would totally go all not. They would say horrible things about him if he was an asshole. Like, oh God, that Peter Jackson guy is such a douche.
Yeah.
So.
Or maybe he's like raping hobbits or something. Who knows? All right. Anybody else want to go with this, or because I can't really think of any? Because, like I said, I just assume they're all assholes. Makes it easier that way. All right. Now this question is very interesting. It's been 2 years since the whole Kony 2012. Does anyone know if they found Joseph Kony yet? If so, has he been brought to justice? All right. So 2012. I learned about this from Attack of the Show. Basically there's this like African, I guess he was a warlord, killing a bunch of people and shit, and people, in America were like, hey, we gotta do something about this. We gotta raise awareness. Ironically enough, they didn't want to go to war. They just wanted people to be aware of this, and they had this thing called Kony 2012, which was interesting because this was a presidential thing. Was when I'm like, do you want to vote for an African warlord to be president? What the fuck is this shit? So to answer the question, no, he has not been brought to trial yet. He's still on the loose. And he's actually wanted by the Geneva Court for crimes against humanity. This is a bad dude, but no, he hasn't been prosecuted yet. Brian, very interesting question. Remember, this is Throwdown Your Questions. Ask us whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, Brian, you don't need. It doesn't exactly need to be all about games.
Yeah,
you can ask all kinds of other things too.
Yeah,
a couple of guys will be like pizza or something else, Chinese food, something like that.
Yeah. Very interesting. All right, next, this is a fun one. What 4 fictional characters from movies, video games, books, TV, whatever, would you like to attend your wedding as a groomsman or bridesmaid? I'm going to have to just go, because again, I was like, why would the fuck would I have a wedding? Weddings are fucking stupid. Let's see, She-Hulk as a bridesmaid, why not? That big, crazy, that'd be pretty awesome. Captain America as the best man or something. Or Iron Man, Iron Man in a tuxedo.
Where he's literally wearing the Iron Man helmet, and he's just got a tuxedo on.
Oh man! And for fun, the Hulk. Why not?
Oh God, you would really want to invite a Hulk to a wedding.
Which version of Hulk would you invite though?
Joe Fixit. Yeah, he seemed like he'd calm himself down a little bit, And
why not the Doctor version of him?
Yeah.
You know, the one that's all smart. Yeah.
Yeah. And the one who's like perfectly proportioned and stuff. He's not just a big massive meat.
Definitely not the maestro.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna go with that. I want She-Hulk as one of the bridesmaids, and I want Tony Stark in a suit but an Iron Man helmet on. That's what I want.
Is he your best man?
Best man, exactly. And he'll have like one repulsor ray glove too, and that's where the ring is. Here. What
just
about
comes
you,
out
man?
of the hand.
Yeah. What about you, man?
Me? I would. You said video game or for any sort of fictional character.
Anything doesn't matter. Yeah.
Let's see. Snake Plissken as my best man. Bridesmaid would be Xena Warrior Princess Lucy Lawless.
Yes.
Let's see who else. What else is there in a wedding?
Well, he just asked for a bridesmaid and groom. That's it.
Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, and then I have Bruce Campbell marry us because that would be awesome.
Yeah. I want Stan Lee to marry me. Then there you go.
Hey, Pussface. You take this woman to be your awful wedded wife?
Your awful wedded wife.
Your awful wedded wife. You may kiss the chainsaw.
Yeah, if we're gonna go with that, I want Stan Lee to marry. Hey, Marvel fans, welcome to Tony's wedding.
When I created Tony.
Yes. And I won't even refute that. Yes, he did create me.
He's the greatest character ever. I created.
Look at him, he's real. All right, Chris, what about you?
He has wheelchair transformation powers.
Yes.
Let's see. This is a tough one. I guess like if I just pull from video games, I guess I'd have Master Chief, my best man.
Hey. He'd sound fine. He'd just be like, "Hey, you need the ring."
Yeah, because then
he'll give you just a halo.
He'll give you a halo. It'll come
then,
in. It'll come in. It'll be like, oh.
And then then that's a combo because he could just pop up Cortana as the bridesmaid.
Oh, there you go.
So I'd have the Halo wedding, and I don't know. If I could have Blue from Jurassic World, just the raptor, the smart one, the one that saves everyone at the end of the movie.
You'd be like, "You're my girl, Blue."
Yeah. And let's see, who's fourth? Shit. Somebody is. I'm trying to think. Fuck it, Batman. Batman used to
Damn you, Chris.
Because he's Batman.
Swear to me.
Batman is to make sure that everything goes according to plan.
Yes.
Because also, in terms of wedding gifts, it's fucking Bruce Wayne, man. Here's a Batmobile for your happy day.
That is the exact reason that I would invite Doc Brown.
Yes.
Oh, you get a DeLorean.
I've given you this DeLorean to run through time.
Brett, we have to go back to the future.
And you'd be like,
through time.
You'd be like, "Geez, Doc, this is heavy."
Yeah, right. Brett will be like, "Where are we going, Doc?" Like,
think about it, would I have you could have your wedding in the Jurassic.
Yes. Doc, you don't have to pull back. We don't have enough road. Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Also, Manny had a good idea. I want to get married by Captain Kirk.
There you go.
Dude, that part would take you 3 hours. Dude.
All the pauses.
And he'd be looking out the window every time, and he'd see that the stupid gremlin from Twilight Zone. Like,
no, I said Captain Kirk, not that guy.
Captain Kirk.
There's something in the wing.
Okay, Captain Kirk. Because I was about to say, during the middle of it, he'd break out into a song. You're the piano man. Yes.
That's getting read by William Shatner. I want to remember the character.
Yes.
I would want the minister from Princess Bride.
Of the Enterprise.
Wait, you want the Princess Bride, Brett?
The minister from Princess Bride?
Mowich!
Oh, that guy.
People together.
Forever.
Wait, so we're gonna go with that. You know who I want to marry me? The guy from Spaceballs. Remember that angry dude who was marrying him? Do you take him? Do you take her? Give her a ring. Rah!
Yeah.
Or Cave Johnson.
Kay Johnson would be great. J. Jonah Jameson.
You take this lemon. You take this lemon. You take this lemon and this Spider-Man as your awfully wedded wife or husband.
Yeah, oh man! All right, Brett, go ahead.
I've kind of been throwing them out there. I think Malcolm Reynolds would be a fun one to have.
That'd be awesome.
Unfortunately, I can't do a Malcolm Reynolds. Sorry.
But yeah, other than that, Doc Brown, Batman.
Bridesmaid.
Oh, I don't know. I was just picking 4. Don't make me narrow it down further.
Come on, man. Give the obvious answer here.
What's the obvious answer here?
Tank Girl.
Lori Petty. Or
I thought about that. Like, Lori Petty Tank Girl would be awesome to have at your wedding, but it would also probably be, like, problematic and awkward, so I'm not really sure.
See, but it's a wedding. It's gonna happen.
She'd come to your wedding with missile bra on.
Yeah, no, I'd be okay with that. Like, I just keep going by the assumption, like, probably wouldn't want mass anarchy or violence to break out at the wedding. Yeah. That's why Batman's there. Like, the second somebody like gets out of line, like, you see like a batarang shoot out of the shadows and like tie him up and then just fall over and shut up.
See, I'm thinking about a Hispanic wedding, so it's going to be chaotic anyway, so why not add more fuel to the fire? That's why I want drunk-ass Tony Stark there. You know? It'll be awesome. All right.
By the way, Tony Stark should be wearing a tuxedo. He should have just a crude tuxedo painted on his Iron Man armor.
That'd be even better. I actually want him to wear a tuxedo over the Iron Man. It'll just look wrong and stuff. All right, the last question is, have you ever forgotten your mom's birthday?
My mom's birthday? Yeah. No, never. That's never happened.
Nope, same here. Never forgot it. It's simple. Mine says a simple date. So yeah.
My mom's birthday is the 14th of April. My birthday is on May the 15th. My dad's birthday is a week after my mom's, so it's really, really hard to lose that.
Yeah, same here. Mine was like the 5th of January, literally 5 days after New Year's. Like, you can't forget that.
Yeah.
All right. Have anybody actually forgotten it? Nope. Chris,
I have. But in my defense, I've forgotten, like, been oblivious to the actual date. So that was more the culprit than actually forgetting the birthday.
By the way, Brett, I've noticed you had a lot of Deadpool stuff in the background today.
Today?
Yeah.
Well,
it's just that there's a Deadpool, like,
right behind the Deadpool. Like, I've seen various images, and it's like every time you're talking, like, hey, I see Deadpool. I see Deadpool again.
I do enjoy my Deadpool screensavers. My favorite one is it's a picture of Deadpool and Captain America, and the first panel is Captain America, like, walking up to 2 kids with a tray full of veggies, and it says Captain America respects our vegetarian friends' choices. And then the second one is says Deadpool ties up vegetarians and force feeds the meatloaf, and it's a picture of like 2 kids tied up in a chair, and he's just got like a brick of meatloaf, and he's just cramming it in one of the kids' faces.
That's awesome. All right. So yeah, this episode was the opposite of last week's, where we had 50,000 questions. That is it. So
wow, look at that.
Yeah. We will have a special guest on Throwdown this week.
On time and under budget.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, Mr. Anthony Vega. He's an independent gaming developer from New York.
From New York.
We bumped into him at the video game critics thingy. Manny and I attended on Tuesday. Really cool dude. So yeah, we're gonna talk to him about his whole career and everything. And it's interesting because he is like, I guess, like us, but just in game development. He's independent too. Everything he does, he has to do it on his own and stuff. And he has some very interesting like views about the whole Gamergate thing, which him and I talked for like an hour about it. Very cool dude that we're gonna have on. And after that, we actually have another guest lined up. But we'll talk.
Do you want to say it now, or do you want to?
We can. You know what? We'll say it on the next show.
We'll say it on the next show.
We got two big guys coming at you this month. And Manny and I, we've been talking. We want to get a little bit more aggressive when it comes to interviews and stuff. So
we've been trying. We've been setting out the feelers to try to get a couple more, a couple guys, that that you guys might find really interesting or whatever. You know?
Yeah, and then for you guys who are thinking about doing podcasts in the future, golden rule when it comes to guests: ask. The worst response you're gonna get is no.
No.
That's it. So it doesn't hurt to ask. You know. Same thing with my man Will Wiggins, who we had on last week. He just came to me. He's like, "Hey, do you want to be on my podcast?" Sure. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that. All right. So yeah, it's gonna be August is gonna be a good month. And we're probably gonna be talking to you about Gamescom. Gamescom starts on the weekend, so ask us Gamescom questions for next episode.
Yeah.
We'll do that because we can't talk about Throwdown because we're gonna have Anthony on, and Gamescom won't be on Thursday anyway.
Yeah, it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah, it'll be cool. Jason, I said Anthony. I have a friend named Anthony Vega. That's why I got it confused. All these Hispanics, man. You have Jason Vega coming at us. All right, so let's wrap this shit up. Thank you for watching and listening. Be sure to follow the coalition at the.
Oh wait. Looks like Brett wants to say something.
Ooh,
Nope, I was yawning.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Keep going.
All right, guys. So follow us on the iTunes and the SoundClouds, Twitter at Throwdown Show, Facebook as well. Links are available in the description below. Once again, I'm Tony Polanco, Taz, joined by Emilio Lopez.
The great slumber shall begin. I will begin the Odin sleep as soon as the podcast goes off.
Chris Seeley.
I ain't sleeping, man. I drank this. I'm good.
Yes, Red Bull, the greatest drink of all time. And Brett Murdoch.
I also, too, have wings as well.
Awesome. All right, guys. Later.
Deuces.
Hey, guys.
Peace.